Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about what to do when you are surrounded in a rally and or riot. Now, a year or two ago, I did a video on how to get out of a riot, or at the very least, what to do when you're in a riot. But now we're seeing a lot of protests, specifically these pro-Palestinian protests that are going on around the country. A lot of them are turning violent, and a lot of them are attacking vehicles that happen to be in their way. As they're walking down the road or highway, they're beating up on cars. So when you're in this situation, there's a lot of things you could do, first of all, not to end up in that situation. But if you happen to end up in that situation, there are things you need to know before you react. Now, first thing that is very important is your situational awareness. You need to know where you are at any given time, and you need to know the temperament of that area that you're in at any given time. When you are driving around, especially a place like New York City, you need to understand that you could be in the middle of a pro-Palestinian protest or any protest or rally in a heartbeat. You could be driving down the road, it could be clear as day. The next thing, you got people surrounding you. Then not only they're surrounding you, but now they're keeping you from moving. Now, there's one thing, once you end up in that situation, that you're going to need to do before you react. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But before you end up in that situation, you need to stay abreast of what is going on in your city. Don't walk into anybody's city not knowing what's going on. There's an app, I call it the Snitch app. It's called the Citizens app. This app lets you know the things that are going around your city, whether it's crime, some kind of rally, protest, fairs, festivals, whatever it is. Stay attuned to that. Go on Twitter or X, whatever the hell they call it now. Go on that as well and look to see if there's anything in your area. A lot of these are seemingly popping up out of nowhere, so there's not much you can do about that. But if you know what's going on, for example, like the big protest they supposedly had yesterday, it was an emergency protest downtown somewhere. I saw that on X. Then you have the big one happening November 4th down in DC. I saw that as well. So clearly, guys, if you're seeing stuff like that, stay out of that area. But now, if you're not privy to this information, if you don't seek it out, if you don't find it, if you don't even know about it, and you end up driving, you end up in a massive rally, do yourself a favor and stay still. A lot of the times, cars start getting attacked because there's two reasons. First reason is that you got a bunch of assholes around you. That's number one. Second reason is people are trying to push their way through, and they're bumping into people, pissing those people off, and then turning around. Those people turning around and attacking your car. If you stay put, for the most part, they'll leave you alone. But that is not always true. There have been situations where people stayed put, and kids were jumping up and down on people's cars, breaking into them. Hell, cars were parked with no one in them, and kids were jumping up and down and breaking these cars and acting like fools. Now, if you're sitting in the car and they start to jump up and down on the hood, you have to assess the situation. Meaning, at that point, can you use ultimately deadly force to get out of that situation? Because if you hit the gas, there are going to be a bunch of people that are going to turn into speed bumps. So you have to understand that. And if they're jumping up and down in your car and just destroying your car, but not trying to pull you out and hurt you, is that when you apply the deadly force criteria? Now, legal jargon is going to tell you no. Believe it or not, and I'm just passing it along. Don't shoot the messenger. Legal jargon is going to be no. If they're kicking your car or jumping up and down in the hood of your car, but they're not actively trying to pull you out or break your glass or get into your car, you are essentially still in a safe environment. And this is legal bullshit. This is not like, and this depends on the state you're in also. Depending on the state, it's going to dictate how you react and how protected you are. So in New York, if you're in the car and there's video of them jumping up and down in your car, but they're not breaking in, and you hit the gas and start hitting these people, you could possibly, not saying you will, you could possibly be arrested for trying to get out of a dangerous situation. Now, lawyers are going to argue, well, it's not dangerous. They were just damaging your car, but not you. They weren't trying to get you out of the car. Again, this is legal bullshit. This is why a lot of people need to move out of cities like New York, because lawyers are going to use that defense. Or rather, they're going to use that excuse, sorry. And in your defense, your lawyer, hopefully if he's smart, is going to be like, well, he was in a dangerous situation. He or she had kids in the car, and they wanted to get out of there. And then that's your lawyer using that defense. This is all legal crap. So understand the state you're in, understand the city you're in before you react to whatever's going on around you. Now, there are some states you can let them have it. As soon as they start kicking your car, you can hit the gas, or, which is not the smart thing to do, jump out of the car and start clapping them, which means banging them in the back. And not fucking them in the back, shooting them in the back. Anyway, so there's that, right? In another state, you can't do that until there's an imminent threat on your life. So again, know the rules and know the laws in your state, before you react in any kind of way. Now, there is some people, like myself, who don't give a fuck about either of those two scenarios. I end up in a situation, they kick my car once, everybody's getting fucking ran over. In fact, I'll start doing donuts in the middle of the fucking road to clear away and then fucking out of there, right? So, again, guys, if your safety is threatened and you have kids in the car, I would say let it go. Don't touch the brake, hit the gas, and go. Whatever ends up underneath your car, so the fuck be it. That is on them. But if you are surrounded, guys, try to be patient and see where it goes. Don't initially hit the gas and then start mowing people over. See where the situation's going first. Because I've been in the middle of one of those here in the city, and they just walked by my car. So I wasn't worried about it, right? But if I happen to be in a more violent one where they surround your car and then they start shaking it, breaking your glass, trying to get you out, then there's a problem. And then some people, like there was a lady in I don't know what state, white lady, who's in her car, she's in traffic, and the kids start jumping up and down in her car, kicking her car. You know, they were destroying her car for no reason. She was just sitting in the car. So you have situations like that, but they weren't harming her. They didn't pull her out of the car. She got out of the car to confront them, actually. She started, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? And they didn't pay her any mind. They kept destroying her car. In that case, she wasn't threatened. Her life wasn't in danger, but her car was. So, again, depends on the state. You might want to protect that property, but in other states, your property means dick. And as long as they weren't harming you or you weren't in any danger, your property can get damaged. Again, that depends on the state you're in. Now, here is the bigger problem. The bigger problem is if you are in a crowd, they're trying to break in your car, they're violently beating on your car, they're breaking your glass, they're trying to pull you out. Now you hit the gas, or you get out and start shooting at these people. Either way, guys, you could ultimately hurt a bystander who wasn't trying to get in your car, who was just pushed into the crowd and ended up in front of your car or by your car. You hit the gas and start trying to get out of the situation, and that person gets killed. That is the other problem with this, because if you start letting off shots and you hit some innocent kid or woman or guy who wanted nothing to do with that violent portion of the rally, if you will, now you just killed an innocent bystander. And you have to put that in the back of your head as well. That is the bigger problem. Now, some of you are going to be like, fuck them, they shouldn't have been there. I agree. But I also think that if we winded up hurting somebody or offing somebody and they were an innocent bystander, that's a big problem. So, my question to you guys is, what is the criteria for deadly force in this situation? Please leave your comment in the comment section below. And other than that, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.